Hey guys, Fred with AKK. This is part two now of the console build, and here you will see we restart to modify the body or the piece that goes over the transmission, and getting it ready for the e-brake and the cup holders. I guess maybe that's in part three, but here's part two. If you haven't seen part one, go back one episode and take a look at part one. Other than that, enjoy the video. Throw in your comments if you got them. Like, subscribe, all the stuff. Thanks. Okay. She's fully welded. The corners line up. The light line looks good on each side. We're rolled around the edges. And now we've got, see if I can, there you can see it. See how she dips and comes up? In fact, this is dropped just a little bit. Not a big deal. This all needs to be planished, ground and planished. And we'll pull this low spot out, and it'll stretch and it'll push that up a little bit. So that experiment, that piece of the project went very, very, very well. Very happy with it. I'll proceed in grinding and cleaning it up and bring you back in. Okay, it's been about a half an hour. I hit it with 80 grit. It feels good, but you can see where the 80 grit is cutting more aggressively there than here. So this area needs some more dollying. Of course, when I was dollying, I can barely feel it, but I made an impression right there and right there. But I mean, those easily come out. But at this point then, we're flowing good. You can see some marks here. That's for me just basically dollying and trying to straighten this situation out. The thing is I'll be cutting in the cup holders, cutting this out for the e-brake and all that. So I don't want to get too far. Also, I haven't done anything with the sides yet, including the shrinking. So I'll need to get to that, and then I guess in my mind the best time to kind of go after some of this stuff is right after you weld it and get it to as close as you can possibly get it, and then you know, work your way back, because as you add more material, of course, it pulls and shrinks and does the things that weld does. So I'm very happy with it. I think it's turning out spectacular. I have sides to weld onto here that are gonna do that and all that other stuff. So I'm gonna get on with that. Cup holders aren't coming for a few days. I ordered them a little bit late, so I'll have to, I can't really drill the holes or cut the holes in anyway until I get the e-brake and everything located, because everything is so tight and close that you know, I don't want to be like halfway into the radius and stuff like that with the flange on a cup holder. So I'm gonna try to get that roughed out and get the shape of the can done, everything done on the can. And hopefully that takes me up to the point where I can start to install the gingerbread. So we'll keep on plugging. Okay, one side on. Again, I have a little bit planishing left, but he welded on fine. The gap is inconsistent here. This is too long here and here. Okay. So there are some opportunities on the side, but I need to move on to the other side, and I can come back and work those little small imperfections out. Right now it's not quite fully ahead because it's hitting right here. This is, the sight line is good this way, maybe a little bit out, you know, something like that, and I'll work that into it. It looks good. I'm happy with it. I don't know if I'm going to upholster or paint it yet. That's, you know, based on the turnout, right? I just don't know because I haven't decided how I want to do this. I go back and forth, and whatever I've said in the past is definitely not representative of the future when it comes to building, because I get crazy ideas. So now I have to do this side, and one of the biggest things that I kind of learned in this experiment was that support. So when I welded that top piece on, she crowned and then she dipped, and I got that out of there, but it's a lot of work. So I got, you know, typically, you know, with every project I bring pretty much 90% of the tools one at a time as I need them over, and then I try to work around them. So you can see I've got a pile of tools. In any event, now I'm going to do the other side, and one thing that I noted is you can't swing a hammer from the inside when you only got 4 inches to work with back in here. And that seam was a mother to punch out because she grew and whatever, you know, all that kind of thing. So it's kind of an interesting look. It looks like it's going out, but it's not. It's that radius. It's a well, now you have a side on it, it looks cool. So I'll get her all straightened out. I got to work out the mounting, but the mounting's always last. It'll probably mount through the cup holders. I probably will have a couple in the back, but at this point I want to get that on, and maybe I'll get some front mounts into that structure, just so that there's no twist or anything in it, and it's fully engaged so that I can, you know, measure. So coming along, starting to look like a hot rod. We'll keep plugging away. All right, flipped it over, both sides on. Just finished welding a couple of tabs on. I put it in and cut the edges to the angle of the interior, and the driver's side actually turned out better than the passenger side. But you know, no biggie. So you stick it in, and it's got a little bit of, you know, boogers from welding in the brackets, but more than likely I'm upholstering this anyway. So either way, it doesn't matter. You know, it'll clean up. But I am going to stick it in, and I'll get right back to you. Okay, there we have it. I clearly got to put some space down here, but fitment is good. Maybe a little tapping. This actually doesn't, that's not out, and this just actually needs to come out just a little bit. And she lines up well. Haven't been to the driver's side yet. I just turned the camera on as soon as I stuck it in there. And yeah, same thing. We're just a little, oh, this one's out actually. That one just got to go in just a little bit. She's got a high spot right there. She's got a little high spot. I'll just dolly that down. But that all comes a little bit later anyway, because I have to cut the holes in this thing. I have to finish doweling that, cut the holes, and then start doweling it all out. But boy, I like it. Get inside. The taper works spectacular because your feet are really, you know, you're comfortable for an old ride. From the dash down to there, 7 3/8 of an inch. That's if I remember right, that's 10 inches at the outside. So 9, 8, 7.5 is the or yeah, 9 inches is the width of the face there, and then it's I don't know what it is there because we're not all the way down. And drifted down to 7 at the floor. So that's the panel that'll go in. There's the 1/8 inch gap. Okay, so it'll tuck up underneath a piece that you haven't seen yet because I haven't started making it. That'll drop into there, and all the buttons and switches will go there. Whew! Wow, what a day. Okay, so now we've got the console out, and we've got to identify a way to access the emergency brake within the console. So I measured it out, and I've identified that this area needs removal down to 1 inch above. I've identified the pivot point on the e-brake, and then kind of where it ends, there's the arc that it travels in. That's it. We're plus an inch. So the handle ends right here, straight down. So I got an idea, and I took a piece of 1 inch, threw it in the brake, and bent it. And I'm thinking I don't have to be perfectly this size, I mean, kind of hard to work with on a radius through a stretcher, but I can get really, really, really close. Okay, and I can get the 90 degrees in it and all that stuff. So now I took that and just basically stretched around the corner, and I'm going to attempt to do the same thing around that corner, and maybe even around that corner where I can close this thing out. So let's see what we can do. Okay, guys, we're on the journey to learning here. Whether this works or not, I don't know. So basically, so far, this outside radius, that was not that difficult. I can work with that. Okay, but where you're shrinking the inside corner, getting there is tough, and plus this radius needs to match this radius, and so you can see the dowel ground the edge, and I'm going to attempt to form it around that. So I got her good and tight there in the vise. Just going to do my blows against the lock on the vise so that I don't get things flopping around, and we'll see if we can make something happen here. I have it marked right here, right where I want the center of the bend to be, and I'm just leaving that, opposite my blow area. And we'll do both sides. You can see it's, maybe you can't. Lost my mark on this one. Okay, what am I doing? We have to be center to center, 2 inches. Okay. It's like yesterday it was 30 below actual temperature, not wind chill, or last night rather. So right now it's about 18 below zero. Can't believe the shop is keeping up. The furnace in here. I just am amazed at how cold it's been actually getting around here. Okay, so now, I got a little bit of damage there and a little bit of damage there, and it's starting to bulge, so I need to shrink this. So I'll be back. Camera's in the stand. I'll be back. I'm just going to hit it with the shrinker a couple of times. You guys have seen this before, so, and if you haven't noticed, I'm quite a ways away, but I have a microphone on my glasses now, so I can talk while I'm working. Isn't that special? And I'm just pulling it together in the shrinker. Now again, I really don't have a clue if this is going to work, but it's worth a try, right? It's worth a try. Almost there. Okay, we just got to get a little more. What? I got to shrink a little more here. It's amazing how it extends that metal out, but I mean, it's also amazing that you can shrink this much without tearing the metal. Okay, so radius is way too big still. Why can't I? Oh, you're over there. The radius is way too big still. It's got to be, here's a similar bar. We got to be in that neighborhood. So we'll just keep on smacking around on it. Trying to create ideas and methods and ways here. I think I might have come up with something. Let's see here. I'm going to grab my aluminum block. Take this out. And let's see. We want to attempt to, yeah. Get in there, goot. Oh. That's the thing is you run out of room, You just plain run out of room. That should be on the center. Oh. Don't push it into the radius. Guten Tag. German. Okay. So, if I want to get that tight, I want to hold it in there. Must have heard a song here on the radio. Okay, so I'm just going, the apex is the center line or the outside radius of the bend is right here. So now we're just going to try to, we've shrunk it. Oh, I want to get right up to that aluminum block so he doesn't wiggle because the force is going inward, right? There. Scooting straight, yep. Looks like it's starting to cooperate. Got some shrinking to do. Oh. Okay, now we can see the beginnings of that radius in. There's my mark. Okay, and I have some straightening and some forming and some goofing around to do, but that's kind of what I'm trying to achieve. One thing to note is, I want to get this end and this end parallel with each other, this end perpendicular to these two ends, so that it goes in and looks straight when it's in, right? The other thing is, I got a half of an inch other than where I've stretched it all out, but I've got a half of an inch all the way around, so I can adjust it before I cut into there. So we're making progress. I'm going to go try to shrink this here a little bit. Try to gather that metal a little bit before smashing on it, Just try to, it's hard to shrink now because my shrinker jaws are 2 inches wide. But we're just going to try to gather some of it up. I got some of it. Maybe I can tap it down a little bit. Just hold it. I don't want to deform the radius too much. I just want to shrink that metal in. There he's going. Okay. So I got that metal gathered down. I want to focus on this corner. So we'll go back in. My die. There's got to be a way. Okay, that'll work really nice. Okay. Let's see here. This is why they make tools for this kind of stuff. Because us CBs, what's a CB? Cheap people. Let's see here. Get in there is what I'm looking for. So now, see that it's a 1/2 inch and my block is a 1/2 inch. That inside radius is a 1/2 inch. So I can grab that block or that 1/2 inch pin in here. Just need a little bit more snug. There we go. And you got to get your knees and your everything about your body into there. Okay. Now. Oh. Don't want to straighten that radius out. That outside radius. Almost there. There we go. There we go. Ah! Oh! Jeez. I need to go just a little bit farther. There. Okay. You probably can't see a gosh darn thing. We got some gathering. Okay. See it starting? Now I'll go gather that up again. We're getting there. Come on now. Gotta find where I can get it from. Mmm. Okay. Chunk it again. So now it's like a rinse and repeat. Let's see here. I want to stay outside the apex, you know, I don't want to. There we go. Okay. I have a. Can you see that? Yeah. Let's see. Okay, we got a little bit of work to do here, that's for sure. Okay, so now study your piece. Oops. So we're starting to get in there, but you can see right there. Where are we at here, Fred? Right there. So now I'm a little, you see how it tapers out. So now I need to just start dollying this in some more to try to get that radius, not try, to get that radius where it needs to be. Now I'll go back to this piece. I'll lock her into vise and try to work that top a little bit. Let's see where we at right here. Uh, okay. So now she's starting to straighten out, but she's a little peaked up here. So we got to shrink that in a little more. Fix the edges. Still got a high spot right there. Okay, I don't know. So now I got to form this. Okay, so she's still fanning out a little bit. It's a lot better, but you can see on the light line, now I've got a deformation right here. So because the metal is moving, it's peaking this edge here and here. And that, I hammered there, but I mean, I'm trying to get this edge where it wows a little bit right there. I don't care about this curve in this because I can just shrink. I can straighten that out. That's nothing. Anything on a straight, just 190 is, on these compounds, it's a little bit more difficult. And I got to get all of this 90. It looks like that's coming in pretty good. But I'll just keep working on it. I'm not going to bore you, but I'll just keep working on it because I still have to do this side too. And come bring you back when I have something better to show you. I just checked the temperature. Right now it's 10 minutes after 8 a.m. It's 24 below zero still. Key to me, Christmas. It's on its way up to like 8 above. Okay, so I took and I radiused these corners. They're a little larger radius. I wanted a little bit larger radius. Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. They're a little larger radius, but they're down here at the bottom where the e-brake, so you're going to come in and grab the e-brake and lift it up. There's just enough room for it. It's actually sitting about center in here, and so it's just going to be a little pocket inside the console. But so I got all this formed. I just randomly grabbed a piece. This was, I don't know how long it was. I really don't. 24 inches, something like that. And wound up with this at the end. So I'm going to quick TIG weld in a piece of it. It's actually 1.5 inches. I was 1.5 inches short, but there's a lot of stretching and moving around on here. So the whole point is, once I get that in, then I'll sand this out, kind of clean it up. We get the edges not perfect, but just get them cleaned up, trim it so it's good. Actually, let me step back. After I put that in, then I'm going to bend up the sheet metal for the pocket. That's what I'll do. Now, in theory, this piece of metal, for a couple of reasons, this piece of metal cut out, just trying to think about this, could go, yes, could be flipped over and stuck in from here to here, and then I do just have these small squares. So maybe I'll do that. I'll trim this, weld that piece in, get some nice clean edges on here, trim it, which now, of course, that distance is greater than all that, right? It's greater. So I'm going to reduce this, but I got that nice inside bend already done. So then I can weld that in, then put the sides on, then take that assembly and tuck it in there and scribe around it to place it in. So at this point, I'll TIG weld this piece in, 1.5 inches, and cut that out, weld that in, put the end caps on. Then I'll have a pretty rigid structure. At that point, the structure will be nice and rigid, and I can finesse however I wish at that point, which will be relieving to finesse however I wish. As long as I trim that console outside of this material, get into this area, right? I'll have enough meat to final trim it and clean up the edges on this. So, wow. I'm pretty happy with it. I can still dolly some more on this, but I need it rigid now. Now I got 90-degree corners and I got the same size and all that. But hammering over a dolly in the vise works great, but fine tuning it's really nice when you have a good rigid piece. So let's get rolling. Okay. Formed up, still needs a little dolly, continues to need a little dolly. Welded my 1.5 inches in there. Cut out this piece. So now this piece, let's see, should go like that, yeah, like that. On there. So I'll get him welded in. I gotta make sure though that I can sit in here gut and flat, so I can see that I'm a little up there. I don't want to be in the bottom, but I'm a little up there, so I'm actually over 90. Well, I gotta just keep checking and getting it as close as I can, so it's just minimal dollying when I get her welded in. Off the May. Anyway, I marked the location where this needs to sit. I just cut it out right now. I just clean it out of there. But I think it's going to dolly right in. Okay, we'll keep going. AKK!